Yo, it's Friday night, 9 p.m. sharp. You know what time it is.
Narcocop and Timothy hitting you with that Lambo energy.
He's Mike by name, but the streets call Narcocop. Used to bust dealers, now he's busting long shots. Retired badge, now he's bad with the bets. Octagon fiend, cashing slips, no regrets. Friday night fight, Sergey poured on ice. Lambo Plays podcast, breaking down the price. Got parlays, KO, subs in round 3. Split decision magic, cash it like a G. Lambo Plays, it's a wild parade. Long shots flying, getting that paid. Tim with impressions, Narco's got the locks. Whisper bet of the week, gonna shock your socks. Lambo Plays, the odds go cray. Spin that wheel, it's a betting ballet. KO's a B, round 2 or 3. Hit that split, cashing big LFG. Tim Troiano, lotion in hand. Tennis coach by day, fight fan of the land. Watching WMMA, yeah, you know the drill. Playing with himself, just joking, but still. Impressions fly, Katona in the house. Roses Jr. squeaking, Tim's loud like a mouse. Cornholio vibes, he's stealing the show. Narcos like bruh, but they still go toe to toe. Round 2 chaos, round 3 gold. Split decisions, bets unfold. Side case sipping, parlays lit. Lambo energy, never quit. Lambo Plays, it's a wild parade. Long shots flying, getting that paid. Tim with impressions, Narco's got the locks. Whisper bet of the week, gonna shock your socks. Lambo Plays, the odds go cray. Spin that wheel, it's a betting ballet. KOSOB, round 2 or 3. Hit that split, cashing big LFG. Narcocop, Timmy T, Friday nights, yes. Lambo Plays podcast. Where long shots live large and splits hit harder. We out. We out. We out.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Narcocop MMA. This is the Lambo Plays podcast, episode 136. It's the UFC 316 fight card. I'm your host, Mike, along with my co-host, Timothy Troiano. Timothy, UFC 316, a pretty good card. I mean, I wouldn't call it a big pay-per-view card, but it's a pretty good card. We have the rematch of Omali versus Marab. We have Kayla Harrison here in the co-main event. How are you doing, first of all, and how do you feel about this UFC card tomorrow?
I'm doing well, man. Hope you're doing well as well. I think the card has got some entertaining fights. I do think we got some lines like old school Bellator here, though, so we're going to have to pick out some good spots to find the props for the people, because we don't want them trying to get like plus 135 leg money line parlays. So got to do it for the people today.
All right. Try not to give any split decisions at like plus 250 or 275, please. Some people might get upset and not like that. But anyways, let me go over to my chat. Shout out my chat. Elijah One, let's effing go. He says the dogs on this card got some juicy props. Sharp Boy, gonna be a fun one. Best of luck, gentlemen. Best of luck to you as well. Azure says, I won't drive 100, but we'll try to be on time. Let's effing go, Narcocop and Tim. Buster Jensen says, how about that new female fighter from Dagestan, Awana Mega Dude? Oh, Jesus. Why did I even read that? Jackie Blaine, who darth to shame the podcast, down with shit talkers, Lambo Plays for life. Looking forward to some 316 whispers. Let's effing get it, boys. Let's effing get it. You are damn right. Mushroom, what's up, my man? I don't see you complaining about the song here, which is a good sign this week. You might be falling for this song little by little. Lala Zell says, goodness, using my girlfriend's account again. Let's effing go. Dixon says, best intro in the game. See, this guy knows music when he hears it. DAO7 says, absolute heat in your ears in about 5 minutes. Yes, sir. We are going to bring the heat. Like you said, I'm so ready to gamble like a wonderful degenerate in less than 24 hours with you fellas. Yes, sir. Subhuman, my man, good evening as well to you. Sign Collectibles says, hey, guys, what's up, my man? Gerardo, what's up as well? Eric, bets fights. Lambo, you say? Don't mind if I do, fellas. As always, thank you for all you do. Narco and Timmy, hit the thumbs up, like he said. Thank you very much, Eric. Appreciate you as well. Spaffron says, they are going to fight. Cone Peasy, is this another new song? No, that's the same one. I don't know what your list. That is definitely the same one. Chuckle says, so pumped for this card. Felipe, shout out to Narco and Tim. Appreciate you as well. Sujit says, doubling my bankroll this week. Man, from your mouth to God's ears. Oreo says, what up, though? Match prediction says 3 legs, 5 odds each, Narco and Tim. Cook me up some cuisine. We're going to try to cook up some stuff here today. I think I might be cooking some stuff up today. Double flush. Let's get them this weekend. Jewish better. Banger card. Good luck, boys. Good luck to you as well. The Enforcer says, let's go, boys. Best show going around. Appreciate you very much. And the kind comments. Mr. Maldmano says, we're live. Timmy, the MILF Hunter. Troiano. Holy moly. We got a new name for this guy. Mr. Maldmano says, Timmy, the MILF Hunter Troiano. How do you feel about that nickname?
There's I plead the fifth. There's no comment here.
All right. No comment from Timmy. I think he might be liking that name. He's got a smile on his face. I don't know. Narco starts with F's. By the time it's the main card, we're F bombing like mafia. All right. 193 of you in here. Please hit the like, subscribe if you haven't. Just so you know, I'm trying to get to 3,000, man. This 3,000 cliff is like, holy moly, I can't get there. I'm at like 2.9. I've been stuck there for months, and maybe some people can help me out here. All right, Tim, we got 13 fights. I have 3 kids downstairs. I'm doing the show. My wife is in France. It's hectic. It's hectic in the Yonan household. Let's get to this card. First fight of the night. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 10-1 Markel Maderos versus the 8-0 late-minute replacement Mark Chowinski. Kick us off here.
Markel Maderos coming off of being sick, I guess, last week. All he has to do is basically if he doesn't like a fight, he just fakes an illness and then gets a weaker fight the next time up. So good for him. He's found the loophole in the UFC system. That being said, I think that you can make arguments that he's lost both of his fights to Quinones and to Hubbard. I definitely thought he lost to Hubbard. I don't know. I just don't think that this guy's like that good anywhere. I think he's a solid striker. Okay, subpar kind of grappling. Wrestling defense is okay. Wrestling offense is probably subpar. Doesn't seem to be super, super high volume or aggro when he is striking, so that's why he fights pretty close. This Chowinski guy is a D3 wrestler, 3-time All-American, and seems to be like very just kind of like basic in his fundamentals striking. I think he was kind of defense striking is not that great. I think his offensive striking is just average. But the wrestling and grappling is where I like his game. Just to let everybody know, there's a common misconception in D3, D2, D1 that there's like a level difference in D3, D2, D1. All it is fucking population in the school. So a lot of times D3 schools have better teams than D1 schools. So it's not what you think a lot of times. Having coached tennis professionally for a while, that's how it actually goes. It's not always level. Obviously, the bigger schools that have more population will typically build bigger and better teams, but it is not always that way, just to let everybody know. So I think the wrestling on this guy is pretty good. I think his jiu-jitsu is pretty solid too. I think he's got a very good arm triangle and likes the likes to get to the back. Obviously, some basic things that he'll do. I like Gus by submission here. Not Gus. I'm sorry, Chowinski. Marked by Chowinski by submission here at plus 550. My bad. Was reading the wrong one. I like Chowinski by sub. I think the arm triangle is live. I think if he gets this guy down and grapples as much as he should, I think the subs will present themselves. I think Hubbard had opportunities for them as well, but he's Hubbard. So I think if he gets those same spots, I think Chowinski will find the sub.
Yeah, I mean, this is one where, Chowinski, late minute replacement here. I mean, he I think he has like 5 or 6 days, whatever. So very late. Marco Maderos, according to his IG, he tweeted he was extremely sick last week. He says he was sick prior to that. He was very, very sick. And he couldn't make the weight cut. He couldn't fight. It's weird because he went all the way to Vegas knowing that he was sick. And maybe during the process of the weight cut, something happened. I really don't know. But yeah, I mean, he got sick. And now a week later, he's feeling like $1 million. He's back in here. I will say he was one of the last guys on the scale. So the cut may be still tough on him, honestly. I mean, you're sick last week, dog sick, and now you're fighting a week later. Your whole body can't be like back to normal. You know what I'm saying? For fighting purposes, right? Mark Chowinski, decent striking, honestly, for a 3-time All-American. I think he's got a good jab. He's got some decent attributes. The jab is good. He's got some power in his hands. I'm not going to say he's a good striker. I would call him a decent at best striker. But, like I said, when you have a good jab, it goes a long way in MMA. And I do think this guy has a pretty good jab. Where he's lacking is I think he's very vulnerable to being kicked, the calf kick especially. And Marco Maderos's biggest, his favorite part of his game is the kicking game. His calf kicks. He's very fast with them. So it is a little bit of a concern for Chowinski there. I did play Chowinski earlier in the week at plus 190 for 1 unit. The line's coming down. I see a grappling edge. That's where I get this. Like, I go back and watch the Fury fights. Tracy Reeder, Darren Whitney reversed them, got his back 2 different times. Mark Chowinski is a really good wrestler. So, and his jiu-jitsu is pretty good. So, when I see Hubbard getting you down or taking your back like that, and Hubbard's not really a good wrestler. He's not really a good jiu-jitsu guy. I'm going to think that Chowinski could do the same, if not better, right? So for me, it's like Chowinski here, but Maderos is tough. Maderos knows how to defend submissions. I've seen him. Chowinski decision is plus 420, Tim. It's looking at me. I was looking at it and it said, look at me right in my eyes and bet me. So I bet the decision at plus 420. I think it's a decent price for a guy listen, the guy's a wrestler at the end of the day. If anybody's going to win like a lot of minutes easily, it's going to be the wrestler over the striker. So plus 420 to me, pretty good in my opinion.
Yeah. His split is 10-1 as well.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about the split. I just feel like if he's controlling the wrestling, he's going to win rounds pretty easily. Yeah. But then again, it could be one of those where he's controlling the round, gets up, gets hit a little bit,
or just 2-3 minutes or 2 minutes of striking and then takedown, shit like that. Yeah.
The only thing is, like, when it's 420 and the split it's only 1,000, it's a little bit too low. That's the issue. That's the issue with that. Anyways, let's move on. Fight number 2. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 8-1 Quillan Salkild versus the 8-1 Yanil Ashmuz. I have been raving about this Salkild guy. I think he's got good grappling. I think he's got good striking. I think he has great cardio. I think he's very durable. He's a complete fighter, in my opinion. He's only going to get better. He's young, right? the issue for him is he gets hit a lot on the feet, right? He wants to come forward. He wants to be aggressive. And with the aggression, he tends to eat some shots. You know, Gage Young landed some very big shots on him. He took them pretty damn well. You know, the guy's chin seems very, very good. He's very big for lightweight division. He's only 25, you know, so that like the guy is very, very young, you know. So you're going to see improvements from this guy. Last time out, we cashed a very, very easy bet on the ITD line against Mr. Jubilee. It was a one-punch walk-off within 19 seconds. That was pretty much free money. Ashmuz is not really free money, in my opinion. You know, like I said, I love this Salkill guy. I do think the line's a bit too wide, like just from a money line. Just because Ashmuz, first of all, he's very tough. Second of all, his cardio, for the most part, checks out to me, right? His cardio is pretty good. And 3, he can grapple himself. He can wrestle. He's shown a lot on tape that he can wrestle as well. He can get taken down, don't get me wrong. But he's reversed a lot of those positions. And, you know, he's gotten on top of himself. And the other thing is he has big power, man. Like, he's putting these guys out cold when he's landing. One punch, you know. And I'm not talking about just Patterson. I'm talking about the Risco one. I'm talking about the Katija one. He's like literally hitting them, then they're going stone cold out. So he has a ton of power. But I still think Salkill is going to hold a grappling edge here. I still think Salkill has better cardio here. So I'm going to go with round 2 and round 3 on Salkill. It's 650 on Hard Rock, 1,000 on Bet365. They're giving us playable lines on a guy that, you know, he usually melts his opponents later in the fight. I mean, both guys kind of do, I guess. But when I look at the fights, I think Salkill does have better cardio of the two. And I think he's the better BJJ guy for sure by a mile. So I also think, like, if you want to really get crazy, I think it's round 2 or 3 sub. I don't think it's KO. So, but I like the 2-3. That's what I like here. That's my Lambo play here. Tim, what do you like?
Yeah, I am with you, man. I think there's a few ways that I would play this if I was on, on either side. Obviously, I'm on the Salkill side. I do agree with you that I think that the line is the money line is wide. Just for the fact, obviously, I think the money line's wide because he's got like one of the best mustaches in the UFC. So I think that that's driven it up like $2 at least. He is fighting the Jewish Better, so you guys got to give the Jewish Better in the chat a shout out, for good luck in his fight this weekend. You've never seen the Jewish Better and Yanil Ashmuz in the same room at the same time. That being said, I agree. I think it's a Cook type situation. Round 2, round 3 for Salkill. I had sub written down as well, plus 340. I think Yanil has just shown to be very durable. So I lean that it would be sub to be like, if you're saying like KO versus sub, I would think it's like honestly 75 or 80% more to the sub than to the KO for me. But then if you're on Yanil, I mean, I think like his decision is a 10-1 and his split is 22-1. Like if he wins, it's like big moments. Maybe he's losing some of the volume and he like gets a knockdown in a round, or just like you see some serious damage on Salkill's head and just like, he's just low volume, so he's going to need major moments in this fight. I think he's going to get out volumed pretty bad. So yeah, I think if you're on Ashmuz, I think 22-1 by split that's kind of much better than the last one that we saw. Yeah, but I think the round 2, round 3 for Salkill would be my end up call, and I think like you said, I think it's a sub. So I don't hate the submission prop at plus 340 or the sub 2-3 either.
Yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it could go to decision. Both guys are very, very durable. That's the other thing. In my Discord, I have the 2-3 that I gave out earlier in the week, but I also gave him, honestly, the truth is I gave him Ashmuz decision. It's insane. It's 11-1, dude. Like, at the end of the day, this guy can win a decision. we just saw Sal killed against Gage Young. You know, it was 1-1 going into round 3. 11-1 on a decision on a guy that is, you know, he's very strong. He can get takedowns, you know.
Yeah, what if he's the better wrestler, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's 11-1 is just astronomical. And I do think Salkild is very tough. I don't think he's going to finish him. We just saw him do it to Peak. He literally grappled Peak. Obviously, Peak is not a good grappler, but I'm just saying he just won a decision like that. So I don't mind that as well. Like I just played parts of that and the other stuff. Anyways, let's move on. Fight number 3. It is in a featherweight division. It is the 8-0 Ju Sang Yu versus the 14-4 Jeka Sergey. Tim, what do you got?
Ju Sang Yu is a prototypical Korean fighter. Just comes out flashy striking, goes, you know, pretty dangerous. Kind of defensively irresponsible at times with his hands down. Like I said, he likes to go for some flashy stuff. Grappling it's all right. It's not bad. But against Sergey, I think your grappling doesn't need to be that good to take him down or to sub him. Jeka Sergey, obviously, he's got like a big right hand, and that's about it. And the big right hand obviously could knock out a lot of guys if he connects with it. He's super wild. He's super aggro, and he's going to go full rabies from the get-go. But I just tend to look at like the 2 finishes that he took, the 2 finished losses that Jeka took are like by 2 of the, like, it's almost like the worst 2 finishes I've ever seen. Like if you say Weston Wilson and Jubilee, and then you're like, all right, name 2 fighters that are worse to get finished by. Like, can't really think of many. So yeah, I'm going to go with, I not super confident in this because I do think that you could knock him out or sub him in round 1, but I'm just going to say that he's going to play it smart and try to stay away from the big punches early, get Jeka to round 2, and then get Jeka to start to give up because he'll take the door if you give it to him. So round 2 is plus 460. Round 3 is plus 800. I think it could be a sub or a KO, so that's why I don't want to get too picky with it or too, you know, I just think that he could get him either way. I think Jeka's cardio and his just ability to get finished by anybody anyway is there. So take round 2, round 3. Hope he can last for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going with the straight sub here. Honestly, it's plus 250. I gave out earlier. Again, that's another play of mine. Sang Yu by submission at plus 270 earlier in the week. I just think is like. If you're like you, right, is a newcomer to the UFC and you see this guy that's god awful on the ground, like literally god awful, and I seen you, he can grapple, he has very good back takes. Like, go to grappling, just sub this dude. Like he's bad. His only chance is on the feet, right, to bonk you. So why are you even gonna mess around with that? Like this guy, I've been spot on with this guy, Tim. I faded him, my biggest bet with Jubilee, right? That was one of my biggest bets. And then I came back and I bet him against Alexander, and he KO'd Alexander. So I've been right on this guy. And I'm back on the fade train again because I think this guy can grapple. Now, if this guy's stupid enough, maybe he stands with him. I'm not saying he's probably a better striker than Jeka, but like Jeka has a ton of power. So if he lands those big looping bullshit that he throws, he can knock you out. He'll put you out cold. So yeah, man, I just feel like this. Just take him to the ground, sub him. I'm afraid, obviously, the ground and pound that could definitely happen, like the Jubilee fight, right? A lot of ground and pound, just smash his head in. But I'm gonna go with the sub. I think Yu likes to get the back. I think. You know, when I watched him, he does throw some ground and pound, but I think he's more, when he's on the ground, he's looking for the back. He's looking for the sub. Maybe Jeka doesn't give him the back, which then it's an issue. But I like the 2. I think it's fine. 250 sub. But it's just miles better on the ground, you know. So yeah, I think he finishes either way. I think he finishes Jeka. The UFC. I guess they know what they're doing with this guy. Not that he's some like huge prospect, but he's undefeated. He's from Korea, South Korea, and they're giving him Jekka, who can't grapple for shit. So, yeah, let's move on. Fight number 4. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 17-10 Ariane Lipsky versus the 7-1 Kong Wang. Ariane Lipsky, the talk of the day, missed weight by 6 pounds. I have no idea what in God's green earth is going on over there, but missing weight by 6 pounds is, I mean, either you're injured or they said she had a benign tumor. Her coach or somebody says she has some benign tumor in her pituitary gland. I don't know how true that is, but 6 fucking pounds, like she didn't even cut weight. I'm almost certain she didn't cut weight. Meanwhile, Kong Wang cut weight. But I Lipsky's a good striker. I just think Kong Wang, there's levels to this shit. And she's the much better striker. She's way faster. She has more power. And Lipsky's chin is no good, man. I'm telling you guys, her chin is no good. She likes to trade. She has power herself, but she does not have the chin to take it. So I think Kong Wang is going to knock her out. It's plus 220. It's a used Corolla, Tim. We're not in the bicycle area this week, but we were trending that way. I mean, 220. I mean, maybe it would have been one of those mopeds, if I got to the 200, but I survived. I got a used Corolla at 220. And yeah, I think she's going to knock her out. Kong Wang she's going to land big on her, man. I know last fight, she didn't look great against Brazil after the submission loss. You can call it a knockout loss against Fernandez, but dude, she was like looking like minus 1,000 against Fernandez before she got bonked. So, I think she was really cautious last fight, but I think Lipsky's just there to be hit. And Brazil is kind of negative. She's a negative fighter, on the back foot, circling. I think Lipsky's going to bite down more, which is not going to be good for her, in my opinion. So, Kong Wang KO, 220. I'm good with that. Tim?
Yeah, I'm on the same. Kong Wang. Everybody Wang Kong tonight, plus 220. KO2 is plus 800. KO3 is plus 1100. I don't like those as much unless Lipsky plays it safer. I do think KO1 could happen as well, which is why I think just playing KO is the safe way to go in this one. I think she played it safe against Bruna Brazil after being overconfident against Fernandez. So yeah, I just think she's going to eventually connect, and just don't really know where Lipsky's head is at this point. So we'll see. You're muted.
Oh, all right. Yeah. I clicked at it. I thought it was unmuted and it didn't. Anyways, let's move on. Fight number 5. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 15-4 Chaos Williams versus the 11-2 Andreas Gustiffson. Tim, this one's yours.
This is an interesting fight. I think for Gustiffson versus Giles, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Giles lover at all. But I think this is like a better matchup for him stylistically. Obviously, he needs to worry about fucking nuclear power from Chaos Williams on the other side. But when I look at Chaos, I just think that he's just like one of those guys that if he doesn't get a knockout in fights, like it's just, you're going to be screaming at the TV. Just like this guy is, all he goes for is huge shots, waits for them. He's low volume. He can be grappled. He can be cage pushed. He can be clinched. He's not like a minute winner. He's just absolutely moment dependent. And if he doesn't get them, he's just not a guy that you like. What was it? What was the guy that Bedoya, that fight? Like, it's just like this dude is not good. He's up away. Like, he seemed like up a weight class. He's just out voluming, close ass fight. It's the same thing. If he does a durable fighter that was taking his shots, it's just a fight where you're just like, okay, this guy is not. He's not a fighter that you want to be paying like, heavy juice on and expecting to win minutes to get to a decision. So also, if you look at fights, like he can be grappled and he can be clinched, and like that is all that Gustiffson does. So it's just a question of, is he going to be physically stronger than Gustiffson in this fight? And to me, it's like, that's an unknown. I honestly, I really don't know. I think that Gustiffson is physically stronger, but it's not a like, oh, lock this in type of thing. So for me, it's just like, okay, if this is a, take a few shots, push him against the cage, hold him type fight, which is all that Gustiffson really does, not really be able to get a takedown and just waste time. It's like Gustiffson at plus 550 for decision and plus 1600 for split decision, and ends by split is plus 750. Like, these are the kind that you want. Like, it's easy that I could see Chaos hitting him really hard a couple times and Gus just delaying the fight and getting some knees in the clinch and getting him eventually get to the cage, but taking, 10 shots in a round and being durable and then having it be close in a couple of rounds. So I really like the Gus points the most at plus 550 if he gets his cage game going. If he struggles at all, or if there's close rounds at all, plus 1600 for him by split is hilarious to me. I think that Chaos is very durable to strikes. I think it's not like, I don't think it's going to be like easy takedowns. I think it's going to be more clinch and cage push. So I like the end split 750, but I like the points most 550 and split at 16-1.
Yeah, I'm right there with you with the Gustiffson decision. I gave it out earlier in the week to my Discord, and I told him it was 900. I was looking at 900 and 850. I'm like, what the heck? Why is this line so damn big when there's a guy like Chaos who's very durable? He's got a fucking crazy chin. He's a strong guy. Like, and, cage pushing and clinching, maybe he can break Chaos. I'm not saying he can't, but, there's a huge difference between Chaos Williams and, a Pitlick guy or Schrober or all these other guys, I kind of compare him to these other, like Luderbach. I compare him to like a Luderbach, right? Luderbach is a better grappler, but, he's durable. He's tough. He hits hard, does Luderbach, and so does, Chaos Williams. So I don't think it's just going to be easy to just hold him there and just pummel, and destroy him, right? I do think that he can win a decision that way, maybe get a couple of trip takedowns, stuff like that. But I think the 550 on Gustiffson decision is okay. I think end split is not bad, Tim. It's plus 650. Just in general, I think end split not bad at all in my opinion. So Gustiffson decision plus 550, end split plus 650. The concern with Gustiffson, I will say, is the fucking guy is very, very hittable, and Chaos Williams hits very, very hard, So I wouldn't I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Chaos just destroys him with a big shot. So that's how I feel. I do think he's very, very live for a decision, though. Very, very live. You there? All right, there you are.
Sorry, man.
All right, let's move on. Fight number 6. It is in the heavyweight division. It is a 17-5 Sergey Spivac versus the 13-1 Waldo Cortez Acosta. I have Spivac at like minus 140, right? I played that. However, we're talking about Lambo plays, and Spivac, I think he has a good ground game. I think if he gets on top, he's nasty. He throws good ground and pound. He's good on top. His striking is pretty good, man. I know people just making it seem like Acosta is just going to kill him in the striking. I disagree. I think it's pretty close, honestly. It's not that far-fetched that Spivac can land some good shots. Acosta is the tougher guy. Acosta is the guy that will fight through adversity a lot more than Spivac will. But I don't particularly think he has huge power or anything. I really don't. He throws like fastballs, like he's throwing a baseball, but I don't think he has like huge power. And dude, like looking at his wins, it's just none of his wins are impressive. I mean, last time he beat Span at heavyweight, Span looked like he just got off the couch to fight. Like he had a belly, huge belly. Like he didn't even train for that fight. I'm pretty sure Span didn't. And then The rest of the wins are just like Andre Orlovsky, Robelas de Spain. I mean, here's my thing. He couldn't finish old Orlovsky. He couldn't finish a death gas to Spain. He couldn't finish Chase Sherman. He couldn't finish Jared Vandera. All of a sudden, like Spivac is the guy he's gonna finish easily. Like it's weird that the KO is so low for him, you know. But the guy is 6-1 to the decision, Tim. And you want to know a decent whisper bet this week, even though I have the Spivac money line? His decision straight up on Hard Rock and Bet Rivers is plus 750. Why? Why is his decision plus 750? The guy is 6-1 to the decision. It makes no sense. I just gave you rattled off a bunch of names that he should be finishing, you know, those guys. And he didn't. He didn't. I mean, Robelas de Spain was on death's door after one round, and he couldn't finish him. And he was on top the whole time. So, yeah, I mean, I think 750 is very good value on the decision on Waldo. What do you have here, Tim?
I think I like the Spivac side early here, and I think like later on, if he doesn't get, you know, like a finish in the first couple rounds, he might need to survive. But I lean that he's going to be able to sub him in the first 2 rounds. I think that his ground game is just way better than like Rogério de Lima's and those type. I mean, like Rogério he just laid in his guard, but like I just don't think that that's going to be a situation where I think that he'll be able to pass his guard and probably sink in like an arm triangle or something like that, and just be able to style on him on the ground once he gets him there. Sub is plus 340. Sub 1 is plus 750. Sub 2 is plus 1200. Yeah, I like those. I just think that he's just a better grappler than anybody that Waldo has faced to this point. And I mean, he was able to get jailed and down. So, I mean, like, I just think that there's a good chance, unless he gets insta-bonked here, which I don't think is happening, that he gets him down and then is able to style on him in the first couple rounds. So, yeah, I like the sub for Spivac, but I like your take on Waldo as well for decision, and just because the dude, like, I mean, I just think of what would Spivac have done if he had those positions against Rubelas. Like, that would have been like a hilarious fight. Like, he was smart to take him down, clearly, but the dude has just no idea how to pass. I mean, like, I could have probably passed Despain's guard at that point. So, yeah, I like Spivac sub.
You know what's funny? The other reason, I didn't even mention this, but the other reason why I like decision on Waldo, like the price, is because if you go back, a similar opponent, very similar opponent, is Carlos Felipe. Carlos Felipe, all he throws is big looping fastballs, and he's not a ground guy. And listen, Spivac won that fight, but it was a pretty close fight. It wasn't a blowout. So it's like, and I think Costa has better cardio. So yeah, I mean, someone's saying how Waldo, easy, just out volume him, land more. Maybe when getting taken down, you know, this guy doesn't do much with it. He gets back up, which he usually does. Could win a decision easily can win a decision. So that line's bananas to me. 750, it's crazy. It's not right. They're overvaluing the KO. I'm telling you guys, way overvaluing the KO. All right, fight number 7. It is in the light heavyweight division. It is the 14-0 Azamat Murzakanov versus the 17-7 Brenson Rivero. Tim, what do you got for this banger?
I think it's going to be a Murzakanov KO, but we're not into giving minus 250 props here. I think he's just too quick for Rivero. I know that there's a massive size disparity here, but Murzakanov is like almost every fight there's a massive size disparity. He seems pretty small for this division. I just think he's got slick hands, especially early, very quick. He just doesn't like, if you look at how fast his hands are and how quick his strikes are, like, and then you look at just him, it's just so funny because it just doesn't match up. Because I think like the guy does not look massively athletic, or that he'd have like huge speed edge in striking versus a lot of guys, and he actually does. So I think eventually he's going to nuke Rivero. But if you're on the Rivero side, I mean, like KO1 is plus 2,300. Like that seems to be his win condition in this fight for me. I don't think he's going to have like much grappling success. I think if he wings a huge shot and then Makanov is a shell of what he normally is striking wise, and he gets hit, then you're talking about light heavyweights. So plus 2,300 for Rivero KO1 isn't bad, but I'm going to take shots on round 2 at the lowest round 2 number I think I've ever seen at plus 300. Not going to bet it. And then round 3 plus 750. I think that those are terrible, to be honest. So I'm not going to be betting those. So really, realistically, Rivero KO1 is the only really good Lambo that I think is in this fight.
Ah, damn it. You gave my Lambo away. You gave 15 plays and you gave my Lambo away. No, my Lambo's KO1 on Rivero. I mean, it's 23-1, like plain and simple. Like, I think he's going to get nuked. And honestly, I don't really like your 2-3. I'll tell you why. I think the lines are bad. Obviously.
Yeah.
But Rivero throws caution to win early. He's going to get cracked. He's going to get cracked hard. And Makanov has a lot of fucking power, man. Like, he's hurting every motherfucker that he fights. I mean, he's dropping them. He's hurting them. The guy has a lot of power, and it's very his hands are very fast. Like you said, that left hand, it's coming like a piston. So Jacoby was wobbled all over the fucking place for 2 rounds, you know, before Makanov gassed in round 3. So yeah, I mean, I think he's gonna knock him out. I truly believe that Makanov is gonna knock him out in round 1, most likely. But at the end of the day, he's gonna strike. Rivero wants to strike. Ribero's longer. Rivero does have a lot of power if he lands flush, you know. So like 23-1. How can you? If you look at Rivero, every single one of his knockouts are in round 1. Yeah. Every single one. Like, here, I'll go over all of his knockouts. I want to say all 9 of them are in round 1. He's got 9 knockouts. I believe they're all in the round 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 knockouts, all of them in round 1. So there you go. I mean, I think it's KO1 for Rivero, or he's going to die early in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, Makanov, very good southpaw striker, man. Very, very sneaky, very fast for light heavyweight. And these guys, they're not seeing the shots coming, and he has power. He has heavy hands. You could just tell. He's hurting a lot of people. So yeah, I like Makanov overall. I think the thing is with him is, can you imagine if this guy was at 85, Tim? He shut. I mean, he has the thing is, he has the speed for 85.
Yeah, right? But it maybe not as it might not be as big, and then his chin might get so much worse. It's like that weird combination.
We're guessing that, but his power is going to be there.
His power would translate. I don't know that the speed would translate as much.
He will murder guys at 85 if he lands on them.
He lands on them, yeah. I just think it's his durability, like the durability question. I think it's always like that with these guys. They're like that they have to lose so much that they lose the durability, and then for 205 to 85 is like that's a fat boy.
He's a fat boy.
Well, for sure, it's a massive speed difference though too. Like massive speed and athleticism.
This dude is a fat boy. I truly think he's carrying that. He's 5'10", bro.
There's no question. Yeah, he and Kevin Gastelum go out fucking bowling every week, so they have their own deal.
Gastelum is at least at 85. This fucking guy is at 205. He goes bowling with the other dude, the muscular guy. That's short. They used to be in the UFC. What's his name? Damn it. I'm drawing the jacked black guy in the UFC. Remember the guy that he threw no punches against that Russian? God, what is his name? Who?
Torres Finney?
No. This guy's not in the UFC anymore.
Retired. Okay.
Yeah, he's not in the UFC anymore. I think my chat's gonna get it. William Knight. I told you. The DXBC got it. William Knight. All right. Let's move on. Fight number 8. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 14-6-2 Bruno Silva versus the 13-2 Joshua Van. Really interesting matchup from the aspect that, both these guys like to strike. Bruno Silva will grapple sometimes. I think it's a waste of his time to grapple in this fight, honestly. He's just going to get himself tired. He's not going to be able to get Van down. Van's takedown defense looks great. But dude, I can't Bruno Silva is older, right? He's been hurt the last 2 fights very bad. His chin is probably deteriorating little by little. But am I gonna, and I love Joshua Van. Listen, I think he's a very good prospect. But am I gonna look past the fact that this guy was rocked all over the place against Edgar Chairez? Am I gonna look over the fact that Charles Johnson knocked this guy out basically cold in round 3? I can't look past it. Am I gonna look past Kevin Borjas hurting this guy pretty bad? Like, how am I going to look past all these fights and say that this guy's chin is not a little suspect, right? It's suspect. 100% it's suspect. And the other thing that you could look at is Bruno Silva hits very hard, man. I've said this time and again. He is the only guy to knock out Cody Durden. One knockout, Cody Durden. Cody Durden is tough as they come when it comes to his chin. He's very, very tough. And he knocked out Cody Durden. This guy has legit power when he lands on you. So, like, and I love, my guy is Charles Johnson. I don't think Charles Johnson has more power than Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva sits down on his shots a lot more, So, I like Van to win. Don't get me wrong. I think Van wins here. Probably 2-3. Is 2-3 KOs 400. I had to sprinkle it just because I would beat myself up if it happened because I've been playing a lot of them and he's not hitting, right? But Silva KO, dude, 12-1 plus 1,200 on Silva KO against a guy that gets hurt a lot. Again, I'm saying that Van's going to win this fight. I like Van. I think he's a very good fighter. I think he's probably going to get the knockout here. But 12-1, this guy gets hurt a lot, man. Like, you cannot close your eyes and say, that can't happen. He's a minus 700. No, it can definitely happen because this guy has shown that he can get hurt a lot. He's been knocked out, like I said. So, yeah, for me, it's those two plays. It's Van KO 2-3 at 400, a little smaller on that because the odds suck. But the 1,200 on KOs on Silva's, that's a big price. Tim?
Yeah, that's a great breakdown. I think the same thing. I think the exact same thing. Like, Silva's power is way harder than anyone that he's getting hurt by. Like, every single person that you named, his power is much better than all of them, and his one-shot power is better than all of them. And he gets these like ass pull wins like he did against Durden, where it's just like you think he's dead, and then he's a fucking bulldog. Like, it's not. He dies on it, goes out on the shield. And he's getting hit, and he's just like, all right, I'm not just going to defend myself. I'm going to just try to just throw caution to the wind and try to hit you as hard as I can and then knock you out because I'm going to lose otherwise. So it's like when you have fighters like that, those are great fighters to be able to bet on. Like, that they have one-shot power at this weight class that can always and they'll fight for your money. They'll fight until the death. So I agree. I think that's a great prop for him. Also on the Van side too, which kind of allows this to kind of happen, is he throws in so many like 3, 4, and 5 shot combinations. So it's like he's killing you and he's killing you to the body and he's going like 3 shots and then you eventually have a shot to throw your one. And he's like, yeah, I'll take your one every 3, 4, or 5 that I'm hitting you with. So that's why it's so hard to get like volume off on him because he's beating your ass and then he'll take a big shot. So I think in all of those situations where he's gotten rocked, it's been pretty much him doing that, where he's landing like the 3rd punch and then you catch him. So I like that from Silva from you. I think that's a great bet. I think that's an insane line, honestly. But I'm gonna take the cookage here from Van. I think he's gonna get KO 2, KO 3. I think the damage, even the striking you comparable, the same opponent in Durden, and you just look at what Van was doing to Durden on the feet, and then you look at what Durden was doing to Silva on the feet, and it's just like, this is just not even remotely close. Like, these are galactical differences. So I think Van's going to do that. I also think Manel just took Silva's life, basically in the last fight. So I think it's pretty much he's on the edge, and I think that it's not going to take much for Van to push him over that edge. So Van KO2 is plus 650, KO3 is plus 950.
All right. Let's move on, Tim. Fight number 9. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 23-10-1 Vicente Luque versus the 27-13 Kevin Trailblazer Holland. What do you have for us here, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a weird one, like, because I think that the durability questions on Luque are justified. It is obviously one really bad fight that he looked like he quit, and he looked like the durability was dead. He hasn't really fought anybody that we could see, that type of power, or that type of, can we check this and see any predictive data versus RDA? No. Can we, after the Neal fight, and he got his soul taken from Neal, and then the brain bleed, like, we really haven't seen anybody other than Buckley fight, like, where we can test the durability. So I think there still is some questions to it, but I think that the questions are justified. I think also Kevin Holland fucking hits really hard. So this is, I kind of think that it's going to be a KO for Holland, but it's a plus 140. So I'm not going to give that. I'm just going to go with, if this fight doesn't finish, then you have both these guys who are just terrible at winning decisions, and neither one of them is historically good at winning decisions, because they either can be taken down with Holland, or Holland in general just fights dumb. I mean, let's not forget, like, this guy's not a guy that fights like intelligently and goes out and you're like, dude, yeah, I love putting minus 200s or better against this guy, and then watching him have opportunities to get takedowns against Wonderboy and letting him stand up, and just like, he's not a guy that you want to be like relying on to make really good decisions in the cage. If he's motivated, sure. Like, if he's not, you just don't know. So last fight, he seemed motivated before the fight. We were all on him. I hit the decision prop with him. That was fucking great. But like, I don't know. I just think, like, if this fight goes to decision, and split is plus 650, Holland points is plus 320, Holland by split is plus 1,000. I think if this fight goes, it could be very splittish. I think that there's a chance that either one of these guys, if Holland doesn't fight in southpaw and he just goes orthodox, which is usually what he does. This is a fight that I think Luque really struggles with southpaws. I don't know that he's going to necessarily fight that way. And then you've got a guy who's going to probably get some more of the moments and can get hit himself, and he's very durable. So yeah, I think it could go both ways, but I lean that I think that eventually Kevin's going to hit him. He's going to just fucking die. But if this fight does go, I think I would take shots on the splits.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because that's what I played. Split decision. It's plus 650. But I think he dies, man. I really think, like, what here's the thing. What did the last fight tell us, Tim?
Nothing.
Like with Demba, like nothing. He calf kicked him. He stumbled. He got in Darce. It was over. Like, what the fuck is that going to tell us? He hit him with a big shot, I think, or whatever. But like, what does that tell us? He didn't take any punches, really. He didn't take anything. It tells us literally nothing. The Buckley fight, he might have got hurt. I don't know what that was, honestly, but clearly he didn't even want to get punched in that fight. He wasn't throwing. He wasn't the typical Luque. Luque comes forward, he throws, he takes one to give one. It's just completely different. And the Neal fight, like, that just killed him, man. That took his soul, in my opinion. Brain bleed, this, that, and the other. And now he's facing a big hitter in Kevin Holland. And I hate Kevin Holland. Like, I don't, minus 200, 250 Kevin Holland is just ass, right? It's just not good. You should never, ever play Holland at huge plus money prices. He's one of those guys that he's not a guy that you want. You can't trust him, right? That's the thing. He is better at 170. I will say it's better, but he's still an untrustworthy guy. He messes around too much. But at the end of the day, like, if this fight goes to decision, Tim, I think it might be close. Honestly, it might be Luque landing takedowns. Obviously he survived the fight, right? So, I think even Luque decision, Tim, it's 6-1 on Rivers. I think that's not a bad look. Like Holland's very, very tough to KO, right? Luque, I guess, potentially can sub him. I don't think it's like really out there that easy. He's going to be able to sub Holland. So I think if he wins, it's probably decision, and it's 6-1. Like,
yeah, his split is 16-1 too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. Like those are the prices. I mean, that's how you attack it, I guess, because Holland KO sucks, like you said. Anyway, let's move on. Fight number 10. It is in the bantamweight division. It is a 15-2 Mario Batista versus a 20-1 Patchy Mix. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I like Mix by submission, 3-1. I think it's a good price. I think it's a lot more than I thought would be there. I know Batista, people are talking about how he's a very good grappler. And he can, he can wrestle, he can grapple, but the best, jiu-jitsu / grappler he's faced, he got armbarred, maybe Blackshear's a little bit better than Sanahagen. I don't know, but he got armbarred there. And then when you look at Blackshear, he took him down a bunch. Yeah, he didn't get the sub, but if he gets to the back, if Patchy Mix gets to the back, this is not Blackshear, man. Like, there's levels to jiu-jitsu. This guy's levels above a lot of people when it comes to back take. He gets your back, and he gets any type of guillotine. I mean, or a front choke or some guillotine or a rear naked choke, you are going to go to sleep. He's going to crush your jaw, and you're just going to tap. So you're going to give me 3-1 on this guy, and I know a lot of people that I respect on Batista. I don't know, man. I think Patchy Mix's striking his jab is really good. He's got very good kicking game. Batista's the better striker, but I don't think it's by a lot. I think the striking is close. And I think actually Batista's the better wrestler, but the jiu-jitsu is not close. So, yeah, I mean, 3-1, Patchy Mix sub. Like, it is what it is. That's what I'm playing here. I think he's going to, I think he's going to sub him, honestly. I really do. I think the UFC brought him in here. I think him saying he's one of the best 135ers, I think he might be one of the best 135ers in the world. The other thing I said to somebody in chat in my Discord is, like, Magomedov, like, yeah, that fight was very close split. Maybe Magomedov won, but Magomedov is very comparable, if not better than Batista, in my opinion. He's a really, really good fighter, very good striking, a lot of power. He can grapple that guy's a better wrestler than Batista, in my opinion. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, he got subbed once and lost he lost a split again, to Mix the second time. So I like Patchy here. I think he gets a sub, but I'm not laying the big money line price. What do you got, Tim?
Same boat, Mix sub, just all the same reasons. I think that Batista, he does two things that aren't really good in this situation if he gets a taken down. First of all, I think that if he gets a takedown, that scrambles are where Mix is, like, at his best. Like, he's at his best in scrambles. He's at his best in reversing guys. Like you said, he's not that great of a wrestler. Like, he can take your back standing. Like, there's so many different ways that he can get to advantageous positions grappling. His squeeze is absolutely legit. So it's not like it's not like he's going to need to take, like, he's got 5 or 6 attempts at it. Like, if he sinks it in, you're pretty much fucked. So, like, I think that is it. And I also think Batista does two things really, really badly when in grappling situations when he's trying to get up. Obviously, you already said the first, which is you can give up your back, or you can try to, like, shrimp up or try to get a single, and he tries to, like, get a single off of getting up. And, like, there's just no way that shit is going to work in this fight. If he goes for a single leg, if he tries to reverse and get into a position where he can start to post, and then he tries to get a single so that he can then get space, he's just going to get instantly guillotined in this fight. So like, it's what does he want to do? Does he want to just stay on the ground that way? If he ends up on bottom, is he just going to stay in ground and then just try to play guard, or is he actually going to try to get up? And if he tries to get up in this situation, it's just, I think it's sub city here. So yeah, same boat.
All right. Like I said, a lot of people I respect are on Batista. I don't know. I think they're underrating Patchy a bit and they're overrating Batista a bit, in my opinion. But let's move on. Fight number 11. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 19-9 Calvin Gastelum versus the 13-3 Joe Pyer. Tim, this one's yours.
This sucks because the last fight they had, they were in elevation and in Mexico with a Mexican fighter that was going to be eating like hometown burritos and, you know, like El Pastor quesadillas and shit all day long just to get himself loaded up and ready to fight this fight in Calvin Gastelum. And now you're going to New Jersey to Pfeiffer land, and the elevation and just the ability to tire him out just significantly, and adding that question mark to the to how you're trying to break down the fight. Like last time I had end split, and I have it written down here as well. Like I've got 4 that I think are, you know, plays. They had end split, which is terrible now. It's like plus 450. I had Calvin by decision at plus 600 and Calvin by split at plus 1600. That's what my plays were last fight. And I was banking on him just, you know, being durable enough and being able to last the first round, and then kind of maybe bringing Pfeiffer to the swamp slightly and being able to make it a close fight. And then the other side, I think the Pfeiffer sub line at plus 410 is like, that's the only other way I would go. I think you were on that last time at a worse. I think it was a worse line even last time. I think it's better this time. So, yeah, I think it's just like, why would you strike with Calvin Gastelum for 15 minutes, like in this fight, if you're Pfeiffer? Like the game plan just seems to be pretty stupidly easy. Like, take this guy down, be bigger, be stronger, give him the Sean Brady treatment, and just sub him. So I wanted to badly, and maybe I'll put like lunch money on the decision or the split decision for Calvin when we get there. But I'm gonna go with the Pfeiffer by sub at plus 410. That's the one that I think most likely happens.
450 if you have Hard Rock.
Okay,
just so you know. Yeah, I mean, I was on the sub last time. I'm not getting off the board with a better line this time. I will say that I know you mentioned like Pfeiffer, why mess around? I think he's gonna kill Gastelum on the feet. Honestly, I think Gastelum might initiate grappling. To be honest, I honestly think he will, because on the feet, I think Joe Pfeiffer is gonna hit him a couple of times. Gastelum's not gonna fucking like it, dude. I think Pfeiffer is one of the biggest hitters at 185, in my opinion. I think he's one of the biggest power punchers there, and if he lands on you, you're gonna go to sleep. So I think Gastelum might initiate grappling after a couple of shots from Pfeiffer, and then that's where he gets in trouble. I think that's where, you know, he's going to get himself in trouble, maybe some kind of guillotine. But if Pfeiffer gets on top, like passes, I do think arm triangle is very, very live. Yeah, I think Pfeiffer is going to finish him, to be honest. I mean, the sub is just way better than the KO. So plus 450 for me on the Pfeiffer sub. I honestly think it's an easy fight for him. And everybody's making it seem like it's a tough fight. I think it's way easier than Jack Hermanson fight. So
yeah, much.
I don't think this guy's serious about his training anymore, bro. Like I just
anymore or ever.
I don't know. I guess he attempted to get to 170 or whatever, but this guy's something else. Yeah, I mean, his losses are to good people, but like at the end of the day, he's still 19-9. Like, is the Till loss that good? You know, Darren Till, that's not in the UFC anymore. Like, is that loss very good? Like, it's not. His best wins, Chris Curtis, I guess. Maybe Sosa back in the day.
It's the classic overvalue a guy in a loss. Izzy loss.
Yeah. I just think Pfeiffer is good. I truly think Pfeiffer's very good. Like, in the Hermanson fight, he got his leg. A lot of people are just talking about cardio. I don't think it was so much cardio. It was his leg. He could not move anymore.
Yeah,
his lead leg was fucking toast. So I don't think it was his cardio so much as more than his movement was gone. He could not move. And for a guy that sits on big punches like that, you need your leg, you need your calf, and he didn't have it. So, yeah. Let's move on. Fight number 12. It is the co-main event. It is for the UFC Bantamweight Championship. It is the 11-5 Juliana Pena versus the 18-1 Kayla Harrison. I will kick this one off. Harrison takes it easy early, Tim. Takes it easy early. Calm down. Don't go crazy, Harrison. Maybe gets a takedown. Juliana Pena kind of survives. She's okay with it. And then the smashing comes in round 2, maybe round 3. She subs her, and sub 234 is plus 350. It could be ground and pound, which is a little bit scary, but I'm going to go with the sub 234 plus 350. What do you have, Tim?
I have Kayla round 1, 2, or round 3, plus 340, plus 500, plus 750. Almost all of her finishes are in those rounds. Obviously, Pena is tough, but I don't know. Her takedown defense is tragically bad. She's getting taken down by just horrible wrestlers. This is going to be virtually impossible for her to stop takedowns in this fight early, and then went on top. This is a situation where I lean sub with you, but I just think positional TKO is just super live too. So I just think that she could easily get her in a position where she can't move her head, can't move her body, can't get from under her, and then she's just either mounted and just fucked. And I also think that Kayla, after all of the shit talk that Pena has done to her, that she probably would want to put her face through the canvas as opposed to choke her out. So yeah, I think she finishes her in the first 15, and I think good for that, because Pena is just so fucking annoying, man. I rewatched that Rocky Pennington fight, and I'm just like, how do they give her this fight? That was just brutal robbery, in my opinion. So, let's get Pena. Let's get that belt away from her, please.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's in trouble here. It's gonna look similar to the Nunes fight, the second one, the beating, but this might be a lot more. Huh?
I think it's going to be honestly like Jillian Robertson versus Marina Rodriguez. Like, it's just like, once the fight's down on the ground, like, you just have somebody that's just sure.
The Nunes fight was like that. Remember the second one?
She took her down and just beat her. She beat her
to a pulp in that fight.
She tried to keep her alive in that fight. Like, she tried to keep her in the fight to keep being able to beat her down more. It was awesome.
All right. 491 live viewers. Thank you very much for being here with us on a Friday night. Hit that like, subscribe to my channel. I need to get to 3,000, please. 496 people, probably 150 of them are not subscribed somehow, some way. So go over and subscribe. I'll get to 3,000 with your guys' help. My Discord link is down below. We cashed some big tickets today already on ACA plus 190 dog. We just cashed a 2-unit parlay on BKFC. We had a great week last week. We won like 10 units, I think, last week total. So, and my props and takedown ladders, I mean, my significant strike and takedown ladders, those things print every freaking week. It's insane. Anyways, enough of that bullshit. Let's get over to the main event, Tim. It is for the Bantamweight Championship, and it is the champion, the 19-4 Merab Deval versus the 18-2 Sean O'Malley. Tim, this one's yours.
All right, so I think that this is a very interesting fight from this, just the factors that you never really see two fights are the same. And I just look at these guys and I'm like, watch the first fight back, and I'm like, okay, 48-47 on 2 cards, 49-46 on 1 card. One fighter is getting outlanded almost 2-1. There's like over 15 minutes of top time control and a million takedowns. And everybody in the world is just talking about like, oh, this is the most dominant win of all time. And it's just like, it's like 48-47 on 2 cards. Like O'Malley's like a few punches away from stealing maybe one other round and then winning the fight, or having it go to split decision. So I don't know. To me, it's like a O'Malley by decision 6-1, O'Malley by split 16-1. Have a couple more moments, hurt him a little bit earlier. If you'd have told me like round 5 was the round that O'Malley unanimously won pre-flop, I would have lost thousands of dollars on that. If you say bet which round you think he's going to win, I would have been like 1-2 at my like most amount of money ever, and then like 3, 4, 5. I'd think that obviously Merab's going to cook him. Like, so I would have lost a shit ton of money on that, and that was his best round. That was his clear round. Whether it was Merab kind of losing his taking his foot off the gas and kind of losing his focus, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but I just think O'Malley's got. He's got a better chance to do better in this fight than the domination and how much success Merab had taking him down and what he did last fight. I don't think that he can do that much better than what he did, and it was 48-47 on 2 cards. So I just think there's more upside for O'Malley, and this is bantamweight, so you're talking about like a plus 260 or plus 250. What are we talking about at this point? This seems like an easy click.
Yeah, man, this fight, I don't think O'Malley's going to be able to finish Merab. I will say, but like we always talk about rematches. We talk about how a lot of the times they don't go the same. Sometimes they might go the same, but a lot of times those rematches, they don't go the same. O'Malley said he had a hip injury. He had surgery after that fight. How true, how false that is, I don't know. But apparently he had surgery on like 3 weeks after the fight. So he says he went into the fight with an injury, torn labrum in his hip, which, if that's the case, that's definitely going to affect your takedown defense. It's definitely going to affect your get-up game. It's definitely going to affect your training. So he wasn't 100% according to him. Now, I don't know for sure. But even watching that fight, right? A lot of people are going to say I'm crazy, but I thought he won round 3 and 5. After watching round 3, did he get outlanded? Sure, but he landed the way better shots in round 3. And he ended the round really well. So I could see why 2 of the judges gave him round 3. But it was a clear-cut Merab win. Don't get me wrong. He won 3-2 in my eyes for sure, at minimum. But like I said, rematches don't always go the same. And what happens when, O'Malley doesn't start slow this time? Maybe he comes a little harder in round 1. Maybe he hurts Merab in round 1. Maybe he keeps him to the body early in round 1 and makes him think twice. There's a lot of different things that can happen. Now, the other thing to say is like Merab has looked great. Like he just beat one of the best guys in the world in Umar, and he made it kind of look easy, to be honest. And, Umar's the elite grappler, and he was just tossing him around like a rag doll, So what's O'Malley going to do? That's different than Umar. So the thing is, I do think O'Malley's like his hands, he's long. He has better hands than Umar's a better kicker, but he doesn't have better hands than O'Malley. So I think O'Malley would, throwing uppercuts, showing uppercuts, doing all these different things. He should kind of just show that to Merab, knees, just feint some knees, do some stuff that will make him second guess shooting just easily all the time. Right. And then just land the better strikes. And if you're taken down, act like it's fucking lava and just pop right back up. You can't stay down there, dude. You can't like sit there and wait and let him put a hook in, and you just can't do that kind of stuff. So, Merab historically doesn't have great control. Can he take you down a million times? Sure, but he doesn't have great control. So in the first fight, for some reason, he was controlled easily. He was controlled easily. And, when you watch the Jan fight, Jan had a hard time controlling him. So, looking at those two fights, I can say that potentially something maybe was off with Omali in that first Merab fight. So for me, Omali decision at 6-1 is looking at me, but split at 16-1, Tim. I say this all the time. Omali is the crown prince of the UFC. If it's remotely close, Tim, if there's a round remotely close, like round 3 was, let's say, check mark. 10 Omali, 9 Merab. He loses the round. So split decision is 16-1. It's a huge number. I love it, actually. I really like it because I think when he wins something like that, like decision split, So, yeah, it's just a good, I think it's a very good line to bet. So, yeah, I think that's it. 13 fights. We have the Lambo parlays remaining. I can go first. Mine is a Lambo parlay that before the event is over, I think you should just go over to the Lambo dealership and just put the money down already, because it's already won with this Lambo parlay. So my Lambo parlay is going to be you by submission, Mix by submission, Kayla by submission, 30-1. All right? And then you add Sal killed by submission. And then you get 139-1, Tim. So let's cash it. What do you got?
I like it. I like it a lot. It's funny because I have 2 of yours same, and then I switched one of the to KO. So I have Patchy, Kayla, and Spivac all by sub at 40-1. And if you switch Kayla from sub to KO, it's 59-1, because I think it's very likely that she could KO too.
Yeah, maybe you want to do that with mine too. You made me think about that. I might switch Kayla.
Yeah, I would add that as a one for sure.
KO as well, and just not lose out on that. It's going to be a bigger number, I think too. So, all right. 521 live viewers. Thank you very much. Next week, I am not going to be here, Tim. I will be in LV, Las Vegas for the World Series of Poker. So there's not going to be, unless you want to do it yourself, Tim, and you want to bring someone on. You're more than welcome. But no Lambo next week. We can maybe, it's impossible. I can't do it. I can't do it on the Friday. It's too hard. But yeah, no Lambo next week. I'll be in Las Vegas playing the World Series of Poker. But yeah, I appreciate everybody. I will do the final bell tomorrow on Twitter Spaces, and I'll have my props. I'll maybe give out some props. I have some single game parlays as well that I like. So yeah, we're going to give a couple of those things, and appreciate everybody like usual. Like I say, the best chat in the game, 520 people in here. Love you all. Thank you for all the support. Make sure you follow Timothy Troiano on Twitter if you don't. And yeah, Tim, you have anything else?
Nope.
All right. Good luck tomorrow. And let's cash those tickets for UFC 3.